In this video, I want to talk to you about securing your WordPress site from the installation process. So the first thing you want to not do is you do not want to use the word admin as your administrator username. Back in the day, the manual process of installing WordPress, they did that for you. They installed automatically admin as your administrator username. And there's even still to this day some scripts out there, like simple scripts for example, that will do that as well. The thing is though, is that with somebody that's trying to hack in or break into your WordPress site, they're aware of that, and they've got basically two things, that's all, just two things to figure out to be able to wreak havoc all over your site: the username and the password. Now, if you're using admin as a password, they're probably going to try that first off, and you're basically giving up half the battle right there. So if you give a lame password, like, maybe your birth date or something, and they can find that out most times by checking out your Facebook account, then they're in. They're breaking into your site, and you're up the creek without a paddle, so to speak. So do not use admin as your username and use a strong password. Now, as far as passwords, myself, I use a software called RoboForm. You can find it online. I believe it's roboform.com, maybe roboform.net. Do a search for RoboForm, you'll find it. You can use, in this case, click on Generate, and the way I've got it set up here, I've got a minimum of 8 characters, maximum of 12, and special characters, numbers, upper lowercase letters, the whole 9 yards. And whenever something asks for a password, I pop this guy out, click on Generate New, boom, does that. With this box checked, it's already in my clipboard, so I can paste it to a text document somewhere, which, by the way, brings me to a good organizational tool, and that is, as soon as I get a domain and I have it established with a cPanel control panel, I'll create a folder structure kind of like this. I've got a folder on my computer listing all of my sites, all of my domains, and in a particular domain folder, I'll have a couple more folders. One for backups, which contains a couple more folders, one for database and files, which, by the way, if you use a software program like WTwin, you can find it at WPTwin. You can find that at WPTwin.net. It's about 50 to 100 bucks. That takes care of this for you, all in one full swoop. Totally awesome. Check that out if you're into backing up things on a regular basis, which you should be, by the way. I've also got another folder in here called Images, but what I'm leading up to is this character right here. I would name this text document XYZ, whatever my domain name is, -login, my lack of imagination stuff. Open this up, and basically in here I've got just about everything that's associated with that domain, from the FTP and cPanel login stuff and my username and password for my blogs, whether it is a network or a multi-site setup on that blog, or a number of blogs associated with that domain. I've got them all in this one text document. I've got email addresses that are associated with that domain, Gmail account, YouTube account, Google Analytics, everything I got associated with that domain, boom, one text document. Do that for every single domain right from the get-go. That way, when you get to the point of creating your WordPress site, whether it's from manual or from one of those one-click wonders like Simple Scripts or Fantastical Deluxe, you've got everything you need right here that can be quickly added. And whenever your site is created, go ahead and copy down the database name, username, and password. And again, you've got everything right here. Just as an example here, anytime I make a change, I note the date the change took place and the original or the prior password in this example. So if we come on over to my cPanel control panel, for example, and in this case my host is D9. Depending upon your host, you more than likely will have Fantastical Deluxe, but some of them nowadays are kind of adding to, some of them are even phasing out Fantastical Deluxe, because as cool as it is, it rarely has updated scripts. For example, this one here under WordPress 3.1, which is 6 months ago. Let me show you another one here. One I like the best in this particular hosting package is Softaculous. If we check this one out, all of the software scripts in here that I use anyway are up to date. For example, WordPress version 3.3.1 came out yesterday. At the time of this recording, this came out yesterday noon. So less than 24 hours ago, they've already got this one. Actually, I checked this last night and this was already in there, so it's almost instantaneous, so something to be aware of. So that's one of the pluses with Softaculous. Drawback with Softaculous, and another one is Simple Scripts with my HostGator account. I'm sorry, with my HostMonster account. Those do have admin as the username. Softaculous allows you to change it before you install the WordPress program. Simple Scripts with HostMonster does not. So that's one thing I wanted to point out real quick, is that if you already have admin as your username, or you are using a HostMonster hosting account and a Simple Scripts installation which installed your WordPress site using admin as your username, here's how you can fix that. Log into your PHP My Admin account, choose the database that's associated with that particular WordPress site. Down at the very bottom, more times than not, you'll see a table called Users. Just click on that, and you'll see right here under User the word Admin. I know you don't see that in my case because I don't use admin as a username, but in your case you probably would. And what you want to do is you want to change that. Come on over here and click on Edit. Come on up here where it says User Login, blah, blah, blah. Change this from admin, if that's what it's showing. Change it from admin to whatever else you want it to be. And while you've got your text document out, because I know you are now keeping things organized, right? Go ahead and copy that in here so you've got it. And don't forget to save that too. Likewise, once you've changed this, come on down here and click on Go, and that saves it for you. And you are good to go. So that's it for that. A couple other things I wanted to mention before I move on to step 2 of securing your WordPress site is that whenever you go to log into your WordPress site, and if you are a avid laptop user, let me log out of here and I'll show you what I mean. Do not check this box. Frankly, even if you're a desktop user, I would try to discourage you from checking this box. While it is convenient to simply navigate to your login page and your stuff's going to automatically be populated in there, click on login, you're good to go. But what if you're not the one at your computer? What if you're not the one at your laptop because somebody just stole your laptop and they are now at your laptop or at your computer? They open this up, boom, they are now wreaking havoc on your WordPress site. So again, if you're a laptop user or even a desktop user, try to not to use that. Myself, I use RoboForm not just for generating passwords, but also for logging into sites like this. Fill and submit, and there we are. One last item I want to cover with you before moving on is that you want to try to keep your stuff up to date. In other words, when WordPress comes out with a new version like it did yesterday, you want to update it. Whenever you got plugins that come out with updates, you want to update those as well. And usually when WordPress comes out with a new version, plugins that you have installed are soon to follow to stay up to date with the new WordPress version. The thing is, though, is that sometimes, depending upon what plugins you've got installed, sometimes a new version of WordPress may not play nice with those particular plugins and vice versa. So my suggestion is to go ahead and install a test WordPress site. While you're in the installation frame of mind, you've just installed your new WordPress site, go ahead and install another one in a subdirectory called test blog or test or whatever. That way you can test these new installs, these new updates, these new upgrades before you test it on your main site. And if it's going to break your test site, by all means, don't install it or upgrade it on your main site until the creators of the plugin or the creators of the new version of WordPress get together with each other and make things compatible with one another. While I do suggest highly that you keep your site up to date, you don't want to do so at the risk of breaking your site. That's kind of counterproductive. So having a test site where you can test out these new upgrades is really the best way to go. And frankly, if you are interested in getting that program I was talking about, WP Twin at wptwin.net, that is perfect. That way you can go ahead and create your test site, and once you've got your main site completely created, plugins installed, activated, a couple of posts in there and everything, before you test your new install or new updates on your test site, do a clone of your main site, install that clone on your test site. That way your test site is an exact replica of your main site. Then go ahead on your test site, pull in the new version of WordPress, the updates to the themes, the updates to the plugins, and if it doesn't break then you know for certain that your main site will not break either. Then go ahead and do the updates on your main site. That way you're not going to be frustrated. Yeah, it's going to take a couple extra minutes to do the pre-testing on your test site, but wouldn't you rather spend a couple extra minutes doing that than a couple extra days having to rebuild your blog because it broke from that new install or upgrade? Just my 2 cents worth. But that's going to bring us to the end of step 1 in securing your WordPress site. I'll see you in step 2.